there, Matt here. Welcome to day 29 of 30 days of intuitive eating, a journey by Megan McElroan, our wonderful host, in collaboration with Intention Inspired. Wow, 29 of day 30. We are almost there, guys. Today's intention is I am courageous. I am courageous. So today, let us find the courage to invite the healthy change we know we need. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be a little more intentional when it comes to intuitive eating and beyond. Let's dive right in with our host, Megan, as we explore how to cultivate that courageous intention into our intuitive eating and beyond.
Hello and welcome back to Intuitive Eating Encouraged. Today, our intention is to have courage to change. So why is courage so important? Well, just like resilience, having the courage to step out of your comfort zone and make changes is the difference between staying where you are and seeing different results. There's a quote that's like, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so for years, I was doing that. I was dieting, right? And so that dieting, even though I was trying all these different diets, to me, now that I look back on it and reflect on it from this other perspective that I have around intuitive eating, I can see that all those diets were under the same umbrella, right? And that meant that I was never actually changing. I was hopping from one diet to the next, but all the diets had the same thing. They all had rules. They all made me calorie count. They all made me cut out foods I liked. They all made me, not that they made me feel guilty, but I felt guilty if I ate something on them that I wasn't supposed to, And so while I might change the diet I was on, I wasn't changing anything really because I was still stuck in that diet mentality all the time, no matter what diet I was doing. And so we want to talk about the courage to change. And I know that you're on day 28, so you've already made a lot of changes, right? You're already eating intuitively, you're already slowing down, you're noticing how your body reacts to certain foods, you're listening to your body. You've made so many changes, and I mean, high five, you should be really proud of that. So proud. Don't lose sight of that, right? Make sure that's what you're focusing on, is how amazing you've already changed so many aspects of your relationship with food and that you've adopted intuitive eating. And like I was just talking about not falling back into that diet mentality, that's where we're at right now, is that we're coming close to the end of the course. And when that happens, it's like, oh no, now what? You've had 30 days of accountability, 30 days of a community of people helping you, supporting you, giving you feedback. You've had weekly calls, right? You might feel like this is really helpful to keep me in that mindset, to keep me going, right? To be resilient, to keep pushing through and making these changes. But what happens when this course ends? Do you just stop? Do you stop eating intuitively? Do you go back to dieting, right? And so we want to have the courage to keep the change happening. It doesn't mean that you have to keep changing everything, right? You can be happy and stay right where you are with intuitive eating, but it's the courage to see that the change is helpful, right? And to not fall back into the things that aren't serving you anymore, even if the desire comes up. And so we want to have the courage to make the changes that are necessary now and in the future. And that might mean that in the future, something else needs to change. And so no matter what happens with your health, we want to keep listening to the body over anything else and have the courage that you can handle what changes come. And so what pops to mind here for me is lactose intolerance. For years, I had stomach issues and I didn't know why. I think I was like 22 when I found out I was lactose intolerant, and I think I was 25 when I finally stopped eating dairy. Like, I fought it for so long. I didn't have the courage to change because I couldn't see life without dairy. I love dairy. I mean, I could eat a block of cheddar cheese in a sitting, I love cheddar cheese. And so, like, how can you cut something out of your life that you like so much, that you can't stop thinking about, that you enjoy so much? I didn't have the courage to make that change at that time in my life. And that's okay, right? Like, I made the change eventually, and it's okay that I didn't have the courage there. Not a big deal. But it's about having the courage to change when change is necessary, right? And so if you're feeling insane, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and not seeing the results you want, that's just a sign that we need to make changes. those changes don't have to be extreme. Often the change is about tuning more into your body, being more mindful, and coming back to that present moment. And not overthinking what it means to have to make changes within your eating habits for whatever reason. So if you find out that you're lactose intolerant, or you have celiac or a gluten intolerance, or you have, PCOS, I forget what it's called, but polycystic ovarian syndrome, or anything like that, SIBO, right? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. These are all things that you can have going on, IBS. They might tell you, your doctor or somebody might say, okay, cut out this food or cut back on this food or do a low FODMAP diet. This is for your health, not for weight loss. And there's a difference. And so you might need to make changes down the line for your health that might make it so you have to cut out foods. And we could turn that into this big deal and we could feel deprived. Or we can realize that unless they're poisonous to you and you're allergic and you could die, it's still not off limits, right? We don't have to create this limitation like you can never have it again. I'm lactose intolerant. It's not like I don't ever eat dairy. I do. There are consequences. I have to take a lactate pill if I do, but I also don't just eat it all the time anymore because I understand that my body just doesn't process it well. And so today's lesson is about having the courage in the future or now to make the changes necessary for your health, not for weight loss and not for deprivation and quick weight loss or anything like that, right? We want to keep eating intuitively, but we also want to be courageous and take care of ourselves. And so if your body needs change, if your body can't handle a food anymore, if you have an allergy to it or something, we want to listen to the body. We want to listen to the body without going to the extremes in our mind of this is my only chance to have this food. I can never have it again because I'm allergic to it or something, right? So have the courage to change going forward without falling back into that diet mentality. Trust that your body is telling you what it needs, and that if you give it what it needs, what it's asking for, you're going to feel pretty awesome in your body. All right, that's the end of today's lesson on being courageous. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Yes, Meg, you are not alone. I could also eat a full block of cheese in one sitting. And if it wasn't for the mucusy reaction that I get when I down a bunch of lactose, I would do it often. So yeah, that is something that I've also noticed over a period of time. The inflammation and the mucus buildup that I get when I eat too much dairy. And that's unfortunate because it's super crazy yummy. And it's also fortunate that I'm not as mucusy anymore because I was able to notice that and slowly make that shift. But it was a slow shift, and it still is. I will still eat cheese every once in a while just to kind of like test where that line is at. And that's all good and fun. And it has been beautiful to see that slow transformation now in hindsight, because that was something that I struggled with for years. I denied it for a while because I love my cheese, and yeah, and the list goes on. There's always something new that I feel like I'm playing with that asks a little bit more of courageous change, trial, experimentation. Yeah, good stuff. All right, our final healthy habit for this week is plate crowding. And plate crowding is to help us never feel deprived again, where we just have like an array, a spectrum of foods as opposed to just like one food group. By plate crowding, we get to be healthy and happy because, like, think about it like this. If you want a piece of pizza for dinner, you could eat 1 to 2 slices to feel satisfied, but maybe that isn't enough to feel full. So by adding like a healthy salad or some protein, you get a balanced meal and crowd out the need for that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th slice of pizza. So that's the invitation for the rest of this course, as far as our healthy habit is concerned, is to be a little more creative and courageous when it comes to what you put on your plate, and can you crowd the plate with the healthy goodies that your body is asking for, along with the yummy, satiating, satisfying things that maybe your tongue or other things are asking for. All right. Today's quote is by Sydney Banks, who said, If the only thing that people learned was not to be afraid of their experience, that alone would change the world. All right, today's journal prompt is to ask yourself, how can I welcome the courage to change? So maybe take a moment to reflect on how you might want to change. Maybe you already know. Maybe it's already an intuitive guttural, visceral feeling of change that you need to make. Whatever that might be. Go ahead and hit pause and give yourself a moment to journal on this. How can I welcome the courage to change? Okay, for me, I can welcome the courage to change by accepting that I am a creature who is always changing. The future is unknown. So how can I embrace this unknown with the courage to let go of who I was and who I think I am? To allow fertile spaciousness so that I can more fully blossom into who I am now and who I will become. Surrender and trust. Take courage, yes. And I am here for it. Today, our micro challenge is something that we have been cultivating all month, and that is to trust our body more. So today, just make a point, put this self-challenge in your pocket to carry it with you, and find the opportunities that you can invite a little more trust into your body today. And that wraps up today's intentional session on being courageous. Yes, this intuitive journey is a courageous one, definitely. It's a lot of letting go of control, letting go of knowing, but to find the peace that comes with that letting go and that trust. Yes, please. Worth it. So thank you for taking time with me today to explore today's intention of being courageous. A lot of great shares in the community thread on our activity feed for this course. If you would like to join, we would love to see you over there. Certainly not too late. This is an ongoing living organism of a course, and everyone who gets involved, it just gets better and better and better because we all share our contributions, our perspectives, our insights, our struggles, our inspirations, whatever comes up for us. And as we all share and support one another on that journey, it just gets better and better and better. And so if that's something that enlivens you in some way, we would love to have you join us. There's a link in the description to get involved. Tomorrow, our intention, our final day is I am fun. Follow up a little courageousness with a bit of fun, shall we? So I'm looking forward to that. Until then, peace, love, courage.